Today marked a very important day in the YNW Melly retrial case, as it would be announced Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton has been released from the Paul Reed detention facility as of Saturday, February 8th, after Judge Fein's ruling for her release on Friday. At an emergency hearing, it marked the first time Melly and Mariah had seen each other in person since he surrendered himself to the Broward Sheriff's Office in February 2019, as YNW Melly was seen walking into the courtroom seeing Mariah for the first time in 6 years, smiling massively, trying not to make too much eye contact, but sources in the courtroom say that Melly teared up a little. However, this isn't good for YNW Melly. After her release from jail, Hamilton would acknowledge her family and friends who supported her while being detained in a Facebook post on Sunday. The post reads, "Into my village, thank you my village. I love you all so much, God's plan, not mine," as she allegedly did not like how this was broadcasted on the local news.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Understanding how jail life is, Mariah does not want to go back. The feds already know what happened to Sack Chaser and Juvie, but to convince the jury, all they need is Mariah to confirm it in the upcoming retrial, and the deal was for her to be released from jail is that she has to testify against YNW Melly, to which she agreed. The feds are exposing the findings that they had in her iCloud account, where they noticed suspicious activity relating to YNW Melly, forcing her to not testify in trial, which is known as witness tampering. This carries a life sentence in prison, regardless if Melly actually took out Sack Chaser and Juvie.
Filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
As the feds began their investigation on Mariah, speaking with people in YNW Melly's hometown, as there was a lot of talks and rumors about Mariah's involvement, and they were able to get everything. But YNW Juvie's father also did his own investigating with them as well. He knows a lot of other people in the area, and he ended up finding the real good evidence, such as the code words that Melly used to make Mariah not testify against him in trial.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
as if found guilty, Melly will be sentenced to life in prison for witness tampering charges alone. However, it gets worse, as this didn't settle well for YNW Melly in court, as during YNW Melly's court hearing, he would react with his true emotions, walking in looking very angrily without a haircut. But his mood would quickly change when the judge started talking about releasing him from jail as well as Mariah. As it was announced, Melly has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days.
No, let me repeat myself. Mr. Demons has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office, but I can, as I said, I'm just asking for, and then I'm asking for at least a day or 2. At minimum.
You decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow.
As the judge couldn't believe that Melly's been sitting in jail this long without a conviction, he straight up told the prosecutors, "Give me the reason why Melly shouldn't be free by tomorrow, or I'm releasing him on a bond." They would then end up sharing the evidence that Melly committed witness tampering, as it answers why YNW Melly has been treated so poorly inside a jail. It began with an interview from Melly's mother. She made the claim that Melly hasn't been allowed to use a phone or look at his own mail inside a jail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
As this ended up creating a massive lawsuit trying to get YNW Melly released, but they would end up sharing the witness tampering evidence, as that's the reason Melly's not allowed to use a phone inside a jail, as he was using the jail phones to commit serious crimes. Due to this, Jamie King revealed in the interview that she is absolutely heartbroken for her son because he's not even being treated as a human.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
But this is where it gets even worse, as at the same time, YNW Bortlen's home was then raided by the feds. They found even more evidence that was stuffed into a suitcase, where YNW Bortlen drew out on a piece of paper all the jurors in Melly's original trial, along with a description of what they looked like. As it was announced, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
This is extremely illegal, as who's to say that Bortlen wasn't going to go out and get revenge if these jurors sentenced YNW Melly to life in prison during the original trial. As even DJ Academic said,
to keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on! It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro! Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
As Boosie would then even get tied into the mess, as he would end up sharing that they're doing anything they want to YNW Melly. Whether it's legal or not, or if he had any involvement, they are going to turn everything onto YNW Melly to keep him sitting inside a jail for longer than 2,159 days.
When they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted him bad when they waited for that law to get passed.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a fucking mistrial.
Yeah.
That made me like, God damn.
Yeah.
This is where the entire social media and the rap industry would go crazy, as even Charleston White would hop in, sharing that this is what YNW Melly should be living like inside a jail. No special treatment because he's a famous rapper, and if you agree, leave a like on the video.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
However, to help out YNW Melly's chances of being released, his own lawyers would bring up this evidence from the original trial as counter evidence, where they shared Melly texting his ex-girlfriend Mariah in real time when the crime was going down, when he was seen running from the men on the street with GPS evidence tracking him hopping into a bush.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're.
As the GPS evidence confirms that Melly was being chased by a car with rival street members in it, but they would also share where the prosecutors had to sit up and admit to the jury there was never a firearm even found, which does add it a little bit more likely that it could have been an actual drive-by like YNW Melly explained.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
But sadly, this wouldn't be nearly enough to have Melly released from jail, as with the retrial taking over a year to begin, the prosecutors, they continued investigating Melly. They ended up creating a new file of evidence as insurance to make sure he never received a bond, and it worked. They would reveal in the courtroom that YNW Melly was very close friends with late King Von, leading into his arrest and before Von sadly passed away. A Rogue O-Block member shared a secret that Melly told King Von, as Melly was asking King Von for advice on how to handle a situation where your two best friends are coming after you for financial gain.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
As YNW is not only a street team, but it's a registered business LLC, where Melly and Bortlen performed local concerts, sold merch, did promotions for companies in exchange for money. That money would be funneled through the YNW bank account, then paid out to the four members of Sack Chaser, Juvie, Melly, and Bortlen, all split 25% each. Sack Chaser and Juvie kept wanting cuts of the money, but they did zero work for it, and Melly and Bortlen didn't like this too much. So if you know anything about how King Von handled his own situations, you can likely guess the advice that Von would have given YNW Melly. Now, when you pair this evidence with everything found on Melly's phone, here's where it gets very bad, as he sent a text message hours after the crime, literally admitting to it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
What also found on Melly's phone was a saved video from somebody's Facebook Live, where it shows Melly and Bortlen's reaction to the crime only 6 hours after it was committed, dancing in a parking lot, dapping each other up.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing not even an ounce of sadness for the passing of their two best friends, but knowing how Melly handled it emotionally, the lead prosecutor then wanted to dive deep into the physical evidence of the crime, such as the Jeep that they were driving in. As during the original trial, Sergeant Williams revealed, there is no way this could have been a drive-by, and whoever committed the crime had to have been sitting in the back left seat.
How many rounds were inside the car?
3. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that Christopher Thomas, where did that come from?
Driver's side back seat.
Oh.
My determination was that this is not a drive-by. It's at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that.
With Williams revealing the crime must have occurred inside of the vehicle, this is when YNW Juvie's mother went to the stand, sharing who was sitting in the back left seat.
His mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.